Good morning. Welcome to Flat Earth Early Bird number 1575. I'm your host Arwin. And before we start the show, please don't forget to share it on any platform you deem fit. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you know when I'm going live, which is normally 1 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekdays and 2 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekend. And please also do support me through the PayPal, Patreon. That would be much appreciated. And yeah, I can always use the support, really. I'm still gonna need some support for the next few days. And then I'll be alright for a while. So any support would be really welcome. Right, anyway, weather today is, well, I'm in my t-shirt here, so you could guess it. It's really beautiful and sunny. There is a lot of wind though, and I mean pretty strong wind. Like you have to be careful leaving your doors open because they will get slammed shut hard. And there's been a lot of trails. But, I mean, that was like an hour ago and they seem to just kind of blow away. But there were like, you could still see a little bit of a line over there. But it was really crisscross all over the sky. But it seems to have kind of like blown apart from the heavy winds. It seems to be even heavier up there. And yeah, it's not really taking away any sunlight. So that's great. Tree down there is like almost at its peak of blooming now. The left tree. You can really see that like the average pink color there is like getting equal to that on the right. So yeah, beautiful day. I'm gonna go out for groceries after this and I'm looking forward to that. Although I'm still gonna like wear my jacket because the wind does cool you off a lot. It's just behind the window here, it's really nice. Anyway, hello Dr. Utker, first in chat. Good to see you. Richard G, good to see you. Right. It is Wednesday, the 19th of April, 2023. Let's check the temperature. It's probably like 14 degrees. Oh, 16. Huh. Nice. And it does say fully sunny day. So, wow, it's got it right for a change. That's great. It's not like gonna freeze in the evening or in the night either. So this is great. Anyway. What purpose they have with the trails? Well, it is most likely just part of a standardized geoengineering program that's been running since '95. So yeah, weather modification, alteration, it might just be something that's just rolling out, and people that are like flying planes, they probably don't even know anything about it. It's like the program just turns it on their route sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. So, but I mean, the purpose is most likely weather modification of some form. Just slight alteration, right? Giving it a little nudge, some kind. I mean, a lot of times I suspect they basically just spray it out to, for example, now I'm not an expert, I haven't actually looked into the intricacies of weather modification, but on a surface speculation, I could argue that, yeah, well, they probably sometimes spray it like when it's during winter, when it's super clear night, because then later in the evening there's a bit of cloudiness, which kind of prevents the freezing from going extreme, right? To keep a bit of the warmth in. So it wouldn't be sprayed like in the super, or like in a really early morning, right? Because then it would block all the sun, it would actually really become cold or whatever. But yeah, I mean, the weather modification doesn't necessarily have to be malevolent, you see. I am not entirely convinced that the program that's running it is per default malevolent at all. I do think like the program gets abused sometimes to screw regions over. But in general, I don't think it's not like a standard exterminate all program. Like, well, it might turn into that. Let's hope it doesn't get to that point, right? Let me not go back to yesterday's show's reminder. Right. Global warming hoax? No, not really. I mean, unfortunately, people that are involved in it do believe that. But, I mean, the way it's been rolling out, it just doesn't seem extremely malevolent. Here, at least. Right? And hey, I have suspicion they also basically do it sometimes to test, well, bioweapon programs shit. I think that pharmaceutical industry is also hooked in. So beside weather modification, there might be, they unleash certain stuff sometimes. Then we all have to deal with it. And I think that might be actually just happening even before they started weather modifying. They just used planes to spray it out without telling anybody. So, right? But the issue again, my answer to that personally is not like, oh, how dare they, oh, they're gonna kill us all. No, it's because it's like, yeah, it's not like, I personally really believe that this entire eugenicist transhumanist movement and their biotechnology, I think that they highly overestimate their power concerning this, because it's all just a pure bluff. It could also be that it's all a pure psychological attack on those that believe it, because just, yeah, I mean, like, you can technically handle it easily, it seems. I mean, oh, you might get some stuff and a bit agitated, you might get an inflammation here and there, but I mean, as long as you just take good care of your body in general, it doesn't really matter what they unleash. It's just, oh, Like, oh, I'm getting a cold. Oh, no, now it's gone again. Right? I mean, yeah. But it's really difficult to tell whether it even is the case. If there is a connection like that. If they do actually spray some kind of particles. Because there's other issues with it, right? As soon as you go towards organic particle spraying, well, if you do it at that altitude, like how it's usually not really going to survive. I mean, it's life. And especially if they want to do some complex engineered thing, it's going to just be more vulnerable then, right? I mean, that's why they like to have syringes, because it just brings it straight to the target. It doesn't die in between whatever they're attempting, right? Anyway, byproduct burning hydrogen is what? Yeah, no, of course condensation trails happen too, George Sanford, right? But it's the persistent trails that are just not condensation, because it's a distinct visible difference. Even like every time you can have one plane flying and another plane flying at the same time in the same sky, and one will leave a persistent trail that's really gonna hang there and just feather out, and the other is gonna kind of like dissipate at a set distance. It will just dissipate. Like you will see this line behind it, and it will move exactly like it's a very distinct pattern of the moist droplets redissolving back into, re-evaporating into the air. I mean, that's obviously that's a condensation trail, right? But that's different from a persistent trail, which a lot of people colloquially just call chemtrails, but they don't know if it even is chemicals. But it's not moist. It's not just moist. When that happens, something else is added or deposited in the air. My personal suspicion is that it's just kind of a harmless substance like silicon, something in that direction, like colloidal silicon dust, right? Because that's how you can do cloud seeding. They're all just no, they're not all just contrails, Moxie. Yeah, condensation doesn't just hang like that up there. It doesn't spread out like a feather. That's dust. Yeah, moist doesn't do that. Yeah, you don't see like a cloud, like literally a cloud that has to be moist because it's just a cloud, and you don't then suddenly see it like splitting apart and waving out like a feather. That never happens, you see? That's not how clouds, moist, how that works. Dust blown to the wind looks like that, yeah? You know what looks kind of like the persistent trails feathering? The times when Sahara dust gets blown over, which even used to be reported about on the news and all that. And you would see it hanging. And then eventually it'll like land on top of your car and you have like dust layers on everything. But that's because it's dust, it's not moist. Shut up, Moxie. I mean, seriously, you're an idiot. This is just dumb. It's not just condensation. Condensation doesn't spread out like a feather. It doesn't do that. There's no provable examples of moist clouds doing that under any condition. You're just wrong. Yeah, of course, it all depends on the weather condition. That's cute. but moist doesn't spread out like a feather, and that's a fact. No, it's not honesty, it's ignorance. You don't understand physics, mechanics, how material responds. Yeah? Moist droplets don't spread out like a feather. They don't do that in the sky. Yeah. Only solid particles do that. You understand? Not moist droplets. What happens is that they eventually dissolve back into the air. They evaporate. That's why a condensation trail is very specifically different. As I described, you see the line, and then at a steady distance, very persistent distance, it dissolves completely back. It follows it around, yeah? Doesn't matter what the conditions are, what temperature it is, whether it's midwinter or midsummer, yeah? That's how condensation trails are, always. Summer, winter, doesn't matter. It's always those two distinct types of trails. One evaporates at a persistent distance from the plane. That's a condensation trail. The other hangs around for a very long time, even after the plane is completely out of sight, and then it spreads out. Sometimes if the wind is hard, it spreads out and then kind of like you don't see it anymore. It just thins out too much. But when it's not super windy, it kind of does slowly spread around. It really looks like a feather. You can still see where the origin point of it. You can see where it was left, yeah? That's not moist. That's never moist. That's solid particles floating. You understand? Moist doesn't do that. Yeah, Edna Spin, you're not listening. I'm not in the mood for people sticking their fingers in their ears. I mean, if you don't get it, just shut the fuck up. I mean, I'm not even going to debate this with you guys. This is fact. Yeah, I'm not even making a claim as to exactly what it is. I have a suspicion. I don't even fucking think it's malevolent. Yeah, but what it isn't is fucking moist. And if you keep reasserting that, I'm going to kick you the fuck out of my chat because you're a goddamn retard that's blind and stupid and keeps regurgitating your idiocy in my chat, which I do not approve of. You understand? Hey, slow-mo moon boogie. Yeah. I mean, I don't even call it chemtrails because I think that's really stupid and there's no proof of any chemicals, really. But what they are persistent trails because that's an observable fact. That is literally the description of the observation, which is a different observation of condensation trails which evaporate at a set distance from the plane. This is observable fact. It's always like that. Yeah? I'm only calling it persistent trails. This doesn't mean that I believe we're spraying poison on us. Yeah. I specifically excluded that from my explanation. And if you come here to reinforce dumb shit, your ignorance, you probably built up in the face of like, idiotic fear porn chemtrail videos, then you're just wrong and you need to turn around, shut the fuck up, or get the fuck out. Yeah. Hey LSG, good to see you. Yeah. more efficient, and where the hell are you getting that bullshit from? That's absolute horse shit, Moxie. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You don't know anything about planes. Yeah. I mean, in the 90s they invented the most miraculous piece of engineering arguably ever created by man. That new vacuum engine, dude. That thing barely even uses fuel. There shouldn't be any trails. Barely any. There is barely any, right? So whatever is being left behind is probably deposited separately from the engine. Because they're not just gonna put garbage like fuel through there. That's like gonna ruin the engine. So, yep, it remains fact. Persistent trails are not moist. Moist doesn't respond like that under any condition ever. It's not about efficiency. Yeah. I mean, those planes are not like fighter jets with turbos, okay? Yeah, those things leave frickin' smoke clouds. Because it's an ugly burn. And very noisy, right? Those planes up there, passenger planes and all that, transport planes, no, they use hyper efficient engines. Like since the 90s or something. And yeah, they don't leave smoke behind. Yeah, they only leave moist behind. And hey, if suddenly they're leaving something behind that obviously isn't moist, well, that will then have to be deposited separately. Because, yeah, it's not gonna come out of the engine, obviously. What is a vacuum engine? It's not literally. It's just how the engine, that specific engine, works. It's really amazing. It's like science fiction come to life. It's just this engine that just the turbine creates like a vacuum, and the vacuum kind of like keeps the whole thing running. It's crazy. It's almost in the direction of like a perpetual motor. You just start it up and then it keeps running. Like you only have to get the turbine running with some fuel, start it up, and then once it gets spinning and the vacuum system kicks in, it barely needs an extra nudge through the motor, right? It's extremely efficient. Never heard of it before. Well, that's what's been standardized, Timothy. Or Moxie. Apparently you guys are completely ignorant. Haven't paid any attention last few decades. I mean, it's not even a secret. So it's like no, dude. There's been videos about it, very elaborate videos, like years ago. Right? And now there was some speculation that they don't need any fuel at all. I don't think they don't need any fuel. I just think they do need some fuel. It's just a surreal little amount. It's a miracle piece of engineering what they made. And it's made flying extremely clean. Right? And beside just the fuel efficiency, also like the engine does a whole bunch of weird stuff. Because those giant jets, they can almost practically hover, which is really bizarre. Like those planes don't have to have speed to keep, like they can like really, really at almost no speed, just kind of hover. It's crazy things that I've seen on video about, and even in person, like because there's an airfield, and when I had a car, I would drive past it, and I would see that, and it's like how is that thing moving so slow, so big? It's crazy. Hovering just nope. Oh, dude, get the fuck out of here, man. Just if you're gonna talk like that, just shut the fuck up. Right. Yes, George Sanford. Yeah, they say 30% less fuel. I think it's a lot less than that even. Same time as the chem hoax. I don't know exactly what you mean with that. Hoax? What hoax, George Sanford? What is up with you guys today? What the hell's up with you? Some military jet planes land vertically. Huh, that's bizarre. But yeah, there's those with the where the engine or the exhaust, the thrust basically can be turned and all that. Was that again? It's an older model though. Fascinating type of airplane. Dude. Yep. So all these people all coming here. And for what? For nothing. Yeah, it's not misinformation. Everything I'm describing is all out there. Yeah, and even my claim about trails is like the most freaking mild claim you can ever find on the fucking internet, okay? So just shut your fucking blabbermouth with your whining. Okay? What I'm talking about is there, it's palpably there. Moist doesn't hang around and wave out in feathers. There is no provable physical demonstration of such an observation. Yeah? It does not exist. Persistent trails are not condensation trails. Fact. And I don't even care to claim as to what it is then, or why it is then. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck as to what that is, like why they're doing it. I just know it's not moist. Fact. Shut your fucking mouth if you disagree. Alright? Bye. Alright, I didn't even want to talk about that. I'm going to talk about the occult versus the apocalypse to remind everybody of the true meaning of the word apocalypse. It's so funny how through popular lore and media blabbering, the apocalypse is like societally regarded as like this, the destruction. It's the destruction of it all, right? But it isn't. It's actually the destruction of lies. It's the destruction of the fake world. You could argue metaphysically that the apocalypse is the metaphysical return of Christ. Because what does apocalypse mean? It means revealing, right? What is the ultimate opponent of the apocalypse? The occult. To the occult, the apocalypse is Armageddon. It's their end. It's the end of the reversed world. It is the undoing of the lie cosmology. And I'm not just talking about thinking of the earth as a globe and outer space. I'm talking about lies and hidden truth. The apocalypse is the revealing of the hidden. And thereby, the occult and the apocalypse are natural, metaphysical arch enemies. Yeah? And people forget that. Right? Go by apocalypse movie standards, then it's just, right? Apocalypse now, it's about, oh, they think it's the end of the world, right? No, that's not apocalypse. That's Armageddon, yeah? Apocalypse is Armageddon for the liars, yeah? For the beast system. And it is the apocalypse. An apocalypse isn't Armageddon. It's just when liars start to try to mind control you into believing that the apocalypse is Armageddon. Projecting their situation. Oh, what else is new? Oh, yeah, that's because the occult projects everything. Absolutely everything. Every detail. To a level that most people could never even fathom. How projected everything they do is. It's everything turned inside out. Yeah? That's how far it's gone. And so the apocalypse is their Armageddon. Alright, and that's why I chose this title for today. I thought it was a good universal reminder. Hello, by the way, Bombacloud Gatorfish, good to see you. Don't know what you missed. I was just mentioning about the difference between contrails and persistent trails, and a whole bunch of freaks just go ballistic about it. They just can't handle it. No, it can't be. It can't be. I mean, such weenie denialist idiots. Incredible. Right? Not even making any claims as to what it is or why it's there. I'm just pointing out this is a difference. That's not moist. Moist doesn't hang around for a very long time and spread out in a feather-like pattern. It doesn't do that. It never does that. Under any circumstances can you demonstrate moist doing that. Ever. And they're acting like a bunch of triggered retards, and they have to keep reasserting their bullshit. Have to keep no. Kind of gamma wankers. Just fuck off. Yeah. And I don't need any complaints here either. Yeah. Fuck off. Yeah. Have a conversation. Don't be a gamma. Respond to facts. Right? If I make a claim, a specific claim, and I say, like, yeah, prove the contrary, then you prove the contrary, or you shut the fuck up with your whining. And especially shut the fuck up about how I conduct my show and manage the chat. Because if that's what you're gonna bring to the table in response, I will kick you the fuck out of my chat. And I will keep doing that. You understand? You have no right of speech in my chat. Do you understand, gamma wankers? Good. That was probably the least triggering description of chemtrails ever. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I don't even call it chemtrails. I think chemtrails is like an outdated, overhyped word. I mean, yeah, prove the chemicals then. Prove. Yeah, take a sample. Prove it. Yeah, oh, they're spraying aluminum dioxide and barium salts. Oh, really? Well, after, what is it, 28 years, there should be quite some buildup everywhere. So take your soil samples and prove it to me. Yeah? Recent soil samples, not just that one time in that one region. Prove it. Yeah? That's my response to the chemtrail conspiracy. I don't think it's real. But there's definitely geoengineering going on, admittedly, in papers. Yeah, Bill Gates is freaking part of it. So yeah, it's not like without worries, if you know what I mean. But the rest, yeah, no, I just know it's not moist. That's my knowledge. That's what I can definitely figure out about it when I see that. And that's it. Not many people instantly understand what it say when you say apocalypse. Oh, that's cool. Mom glad gator fish. I mean, a well-studied Christian that's personally well-studied in the Bible should know that. A lot of conspiracy theorists, that like online figures that aren't completely deranged, they also know it. It's kind of common conspiracy knowledge. But just with people that don't really dive all over the place to figure out oddities on the internet, they don't necessarily know that. Right? They get confronted with the word in movies, and in movies, Hollywood movies, they typically use the word like it just means Armageddon, right? Why does Bill Gates get dragged into everything? He drags himself into everything. He wanted it. I mean, he funded it. Right? But I don't know if he really even does all that much with it. I think he fantasized he had this whole period where he was just stupid speeches about blotting out the sun and shit. And that was based on what he wanted to do with geoengineering. Take it easy. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh. No, the guy can't enjoy anything. And he doesn't really even have his money. Money has him. The guy is completely and permanently possessed. There's nothing left of him. There's barely anything there as a person. He's just power. It's just all power and automated system in dealing with power and wielding. The power has him. He's like Gollum in that sense. Can never let go. It has him. It will always have him, and he will always get appointed to those positions through the network. Sold his dude. He sold his dude. He sold his soul as a freaking teenager, man. But I mean, in a way, I'd almost say, can you blame him? I mean, his freaking parents, man. It's a psycho family. So, yeah, I mean, dude, if I had grown up in a family like that, being subjected to all that, yeah, I would probably become a psycho too, like that. Because there's nothing else left for you. It's like that's what you're like taught and tasked to do, and everything else is just folly. Like, he has barely any type of developed characteristics in himself to even properly reflect a world image. Like, that guy is so delusional. He barely even really understands the world. He only understands power in the world. He doesn't understand the world. Is that fixated? The man is like really deranged. All that horrible money. Yeah, I mean, he's ravaged the computer world in his day. There's so much destruction he caused just to get his freaking monopoly money. It's disgusting. But I mean, I think sometimes that people like that are literally bred to be so fucked up and evil because for some reason they fill this boogeyman role that's apparently very hard to fill within the world play. So it's like Bill Gates has been bred and raised to become specifically a monster like this. It's like they're bred specifically to be like arena opponents for the entirety of humanity. I truly believe that. Because how else could somebody that sick just survive in the world? Like, unless they were designated an important role that's hard to fill. You know? Switching to Linux. Yeah, good luck with that. I mean, yeah, I'm not against Linux or anything, but I mean, I'm still just running on Windows 7. It's like, yeah, I mean, I don't like Bill Gates. I'm not really a fan of Microsoft, although, I mean, it's become a little better, at least, you know? I like Windows 7, it works fine. Right? I mean, if you're gonna be like, oh, Bill Gates, well, dude, then, yeah, unsubscribe from YouTube. Delete it. I mean, YouTube is owned by Google, and what people are doing there is arguably worse than even Bill Gates in ways. And less, yeah, personal. You know? If you had to, like, oh, let's not use anything that's touched by some filthy devil up there, well, yeah, well, then there's literally nothing left. Almost nothing. No big platform. No bank. Nothing. So good luck with that. Have I ever tried to get away from Linux? Not really. I thought about it for a time. But I mean, if like for some reason Windows 7 would like permanently break, and I don't think that is actually going to happen. I think it can still go on for like another 10 years or 20 years. Right? But if it's like if it no longer becomes tenable, then yeah, then I might go to Linux. I mean, Linux has developed great interfaces since it first started up, because that was always a bit of the problem, is that, like, yeah, it's not really like Windows, but I mean, since then there's all kinds of systems for it, the versions that are almost identical. So I could make the switch at some point, but at this point I don't need to. So anyway, hello Steamy Traveler. Right. Anyway, man, time has flown already. I feel great. Just weather is like indestructible. I love it. I love that I saw all those stupid persistent trails and they're all just blown away. It's awesome. I like that. Anyway. What was I doing yesterday? Oh yeah, watched The Life of Brian again. I didn't like it as much as Holy Grail. It's very distinct. I mean, it's still good, very memorable moments. Like there's like Life of Brian is like extremely memeable. But it's a different type of quality as the Holy Grail is. And there's like really just kind of stupid padding in there. That's, I mean, you get a little bored here and there. A little. But it's still good. And very memorable acting. And just great addressal of like the craziness of people. Which is kind of what Holy Grail also did, but very differently. But, I mean, the Holy Grail is just, like, every scene is memorable. And that's a big difference. Anyway. Good stuff, still. I still like it. I think the intro is really boring, though. Yeah, Fred Sparrow. Yeah, me too. Dude, I use Photoshop 7. And I mean, I don't really care about another version at all. I just need the basic functions. And that's it. I just need a basic dynamic editor for visuals, and that is all. Photoshop 7, it's like 20 years old by now. But it still works. I mean, if it works, you know? It's like, yeah, if you don't update your computer, your browser, whatever, you just keep it as it, yeah, guess what? It keeps working then. Yeah? It keeps working. That's the funny thing. If it's just on your computer, you can just literally use that, well, until your computer literally stops working because it breaks or something, but you can technically like use that for decades. And by the way, you can even just copy the setting of it. I mean, I could get a completely new computer. All I do is just put in the old SSD and just run Windows 7 again on the hyper modern computer. Like, I don't care. It's still gonna work. It will. Use a correct. Yeah. But I mean, Photoshop 7. Yeah, I got that as a correct version, but nobody gives a shit. I got it very late anyway. Like, yeah, anyway. So, I'm just doing fine with my computer, thanks. Alright, Dr. Yeah, thanks for popping by. You know what? I'm giving you a wrench. You're okay. I thought first that you might secretly be some infiltrating troll or something, but you don't seem like that. So you get a wrench. Anyway. How much is... I don't know, Steamy Traveler. Why are you asking me? Or you might be asking somebody else in the chat. But, right. What was I? Oh yeah, watch Life of Brian. Of course, Owen Benjamin. Life. Alex Jones with just squirting endless terrors. And I mean, hey, fair enough. In a way, I do it too, but I mean, he's really piling everything on. So, let's see what happens. Yeah, not that anybody really seems to care. I mean, it's a mess. The whole frickin' Ali Alexander thing, that's really shocking, hearing about it everywhere. That's not being addressed on the InfoWars at all, of course. Not gonna be exactly happy about that. Hey, Flatter Sage, good to see you. Hello, Laser Lie. Right, by the way, people may have found their way back after a while or something. Don't forget to share the show. Let other people know that I'm streaming on this backup account, right? Let them know. Because I'm going to be streaming on this one for like a substantial amount of time. Pretty much until the end of summer. So it would be good if you spread it around and not let people just think like, oh, well, I guess he's not streaming anymore then. Like, no, I am. Yeah, because some people are even too kind of silly to pick up on that. Like, hey, maybe I should check the comment section with the last video or something. They'd find it. But I think I'm also probably gonna somewhere soon record a little video that I will upload, because I can actually stream and upload again on that channel. I'm just not doing it. But I'll make a little video, put it on like the standard, yeah, on the homepage. It'll tell everybody that clicks there that I'm actually streaming live on this channel now for a while. That would probably help. But do also share the show. And support me, please, if possible. Anyway. Wow, by the way, yesterday was like really... no, I shouldn't go into that. It's just that, yeah, the opponent is now literally starting to accuse the alt-right, or whatever they call it these days, of projecting everything. It's going inward spiral. It's like they've discovered our analysis of them and they're now just mirroring it back shamelessly. And it's very painful for people, right? It's very painful when they do that. Because if you know it really is aggravating, you know that they are literally projecting and projecting their projection onto its fractal projection. It's beyond evil. And those that don't know, they might genuinely fall for it in that moment. Because it's like, oh, well, the projecting elite is now sharing with their innocent, stupid flock about projection. Well, not a lot of them are going to figure out that that is actually a projection about their leaders. So it's going to create a deeper rift. It's more polarizing between the sleepers and the awakened. Yeah? The occult and the apocalypse. It's the same thing. Yeah? You get it? Sleepers and the awakened. Occult and the apocalypse. It's the same thing. That thing that I called out, like even in my Flat Earth Talk days, like this is happening. It's going to be about polarization between the sleepers and the awakened. The darkness will come out, and the light will wake up and purify. That will keep going more apart until either sides are so counter opposite they're like aliens to each other. Like they don't feel like they're the same species anymore. But it's spiritual. They will spiritually just not feel like human beings to us. Yeah, the occult will feel not like human beings. And you see it like they're Alex Jones, who gives a shit really, but I mean he calls them like something, yeah, they're like aliens, this is an alien invasion. Well, yeah, they are extremely alienated, but they feel like that about the apocalypse, about the people that those stupid people hold on to their old outdated ways that doesn't provide us pure 100% mind control. Yeah, and they feel alienated towards us. And sometimes they're so alienated, they literally are puzzled. They're like, I don't understand this. How could this happen? They just don't, yeah, they just completely don't understand anymore. They genuinely don't understand why we are like that. Why we are holding on. Why would you do that? Yeah, because you're fucking insane and you're going to turn into a monster and die. And we don't want that. We want God. We want things to be as they are. The truth. No more projecting out our inner longings and delusions, but seeing things for what they are. Yeah, sleepers versus the awakened, cult versus the apocalypse. That's what's happening. It's well underway for quite some time. Yeah, quite some time, and it's getting more pronounced, more visible, more distinctly different, more polarized, more split apart in spirit. I called it. It's happening. We're in it. Let's see, news and government funded. Yeah. I saw that, George Sanford. This is interesting. Right. I mean, it's good that it's getting kind of like more publicly identified now. I wonder how long it will take before this Marxist revolution bloom that is basically at the root of that, including in governments. I wonder how long it's going to take before that cycle is completely rounded out and done. I wonder how long it will still take. I mean, it's already pretty obvious now. There's not really a lot of people left in the world that don't realize that that is what's happening. Right? That doesn't mean that once they realize it, that they're not going to choose their side out of hunger for power or like freedom from God, right? But I mean, it's figured out. So how long is it now going to take before the Marxist bloom cycle is going to end? We're finally going to be done with it. Right? And I'm thinking like maybe it is very similar to World War II, because I believe that basically what caused the Nazi Empire and all that to be the way it is was a Marxist influence. It was their double speak. It was the massive hypocrisy. When they were outward pretending to be all noble and pure, but they actually kept all the grabbling and gross shit secret. They kept it occult, but they still did that, and they were still getting deranged and power hungry still. So that's a Marxist influence. And, well, that was 80 years ago. So when did World War II really break out, and when did it really end? I think we could compare that cycle to this cycle. I think it's gonna rhyme very, very distinctly. Right? Let me Google it first. I thought it wasn't it 45? I'm not 100% sure anymore. Yeah, September to 1945, right. So I genuinely think there's a very good chance that all this shit, this cycle, this Marxist bloom event is gonna round out in 2025. Like, this is an official Arwanian prediction now. I think it's like that's the moment where it's gonna round out. Which, yeah, well, that means, okay, guys, we got about 2 more years, which will include serious wars here and there. That's already happening, of course. I mean, in Ukraine, that's pretty serious war. But that's not going to be... it's not going to just stay in Ukraine. I'm afraid. I'm afraid it's going to spread out. And it needs to. I mean, the amount of Marxist corruptions within a lot of European governments has become untenable, even to their own people. And in the current condition, there's likelihood they're only going to be outed through war at this point, which they literally started. They literally started. Yeah, the Marxists literally started this war in Ukraine. They started it. They started building up weapons and shit, breaking the NATO treaty, giant anti-Russian propaganda endlessly. Everybody knows about it. We've been through that. They started it. Well, it's probably then gonna end with war back at their place. Or however that's how. It might not be like, oh, they're gonna roll in our harbor with the tanks and and the boats or whatever, right? But or a paradrop, it might not be like a military invasion level, but they're definitely going to be collecting certain types of figures. That have been responsible for this entire scenario. The conspirators. It's gonna happen. And I'm pretty sure that that's gonna like really round out this power control from the Marxists currently. I think it's gonna be over in 2 years. It might even be the same date, guys. It might be over September 2nd, 2025. Yeah, getting very specific here, and I know they can't do that, right? I mean, yeah, I think they can. I think they can do that. Don't know if it's gonna happen, but I think it might. Anyway. And then we'll see what the new power order will be like. Because, yeah, that does also mean a shift change, a shift in power when it happens. And then all we can hope is that, like, this cycle of just depopulation is finally gonna stop. That the nonsense concerning that is finally truly going to stop. And that people will actually become privy to be taught good ways of living again. To restore the atomic family model, roughly. I mean, updates, sure. Right? It might even be like, I am all for environmentally friendly, right? I've always been like that. I'm like, yeah, recycling. Yeah, needs some work, but that can be a good thing. And yeah, make sure to keep nature clean, of course, but realistically, right? I mean, don't. What they're doing right now is absolutely absurd, but it's provably absurd. It's provably absurd, and it's an atrocity, right? And I think that they're actually doing that because I think that the environmental friendly revolution has already happened. It's done. At least here in Europe, it seems to be quite done. In the Netherlands, I mean, we are really environmentally friendly. Not talking about stupid climate change nonsense. I'm talking about just nature awareness and taking care of it. A lot of biology knowledge and just making things clean and good and viable for insects and everything. Good food quality, right? The environmental revolution has happened. And now the Marxists are rolling out their garbage bullshit to try to destroy it all again. Yeah? Because Marxists don't want people to have anything. Like nothing. Not about possessions. They don't want people to have good things in the world. They just want you all to die. That's it. It's that ridiculously basic. So they will then take sheep's clothing with a subject like environmentalism and then roll out policies to destroy it. And that's what they're doing. That's what Marxism does. Right? Because environmentally, we're great. I'm kind of proud of my country in that sense. And even the farmers are like crushing it with it. Like we revolutionized organic farming and everything. Developed. I'm very proud of my country in that sense, of the people that are really into life and into nature and into farming and food production and keeping it good and healthy. I love that. But now, these Marxists are trying to destroy that heritage. They're trying to take it away from us, and they're trying to make us hate environmentalism. What they secretly want is us to get so angry with environmentalism that we're going to say, yeah, fuck you. We're just going to throw this oil there just to ruin nature, just to get at you, right? That's what they really want. They want us to destroy all the things that we've attained. That's what Marxists do. They make you destroy the things you have because they don't want you to have it. That's what Marxists do. They make you destroy things that you have. And they don't destroy it, they make you do it. That's their preferred method. Because if they do it, then they actually get like a backlash from it. Legally. If they just makes you hate something that's actually good, and then trigger you to destroy that, then they're happy because now you destroyed the thing that's good that was for you. And that's what they want. They want you to just destroy everything because they hate you. They hate everything. They want all life to be destroyed. It is not rational. It's a longing. It's a longing of evil. A devilish longing that they've infected themselves with and treasured and kept. It's pure evil. And these people need severe punishment. And in the future, it should be blatantly obvious that people like that should never, under any circumstance, ever be allowed to attain government functions of any form. It would be preferable if they would literally be, when identified, kept in an asylum and treated for their trauma that has led to becoming so heavily devil-possessed, so evil. Because that's a disease. It's a disease of the mind that they have. That you can call being possessed. But it's all from trauma. And I mean, it's been placed. It's placed trauma. It's bred trauma. And it makes you vulnerable to becoming utterly evil. And they do it on purpose. Because they're insane, anti-human death cult. Proper death cult. Not just, oh, spooky movie, no, an actual death cult. Obsessed with annihilation. Yeah? So I am really an environmentalist. I love environment. I love nature. I love smelling it. I love seeing it grow. I love the plants that I take care of. I hate vandalism against nature. I even kind of get annoyed when like boys goof around and just start hitting plants with sticks. I'm like, hey, stop that. Even if it's just some plant that's just some weed. I'm like, no, don't do that. Because I love nature. I genuinely love it. Shut the fuck up, Moxie. It's not a worry. The only climate change we need to actually worry about is the spiritual climate. It's evil. Yeah? The spiritual climate change is the real danger. It's everybody becoming deranged and possessed. That's the real climate change. I'm not worried about the climate changing at all. The climate's great. And not because of what we do. It's just great. It's always great. Yeah? I'm worried about local pollution, as in you throw oil in the river or something, right? That's bad. That doesn't change the climate. It just pollutes. And then that pollution is a burden on all life there. That's what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about, it's all going to change because of some stupid gas. Fuck off, you retard. It's based on a model with a globe. Nothing about it makes sense. It's all fiction. The entire premise is frickin' fiction, man. Like even that started even with the ozone layer. It's fiction. It's all based on stupid globe model nonsense. Yeah. Literally, look into it. Look into the theory of climate change and all, and global warming, how they assume it works. It's based on a ridiculous globe model. Assuming there's heat from the outside being trapped. It's ridiculous. There is no heat from the outside that can be trapped inside here. Right? Because it's all in here. All of it is. The light source is in here. The energy is in here. There's nothing from the outside getting in. It's all in here. The light manifests in the realm. There's nothing from the outside heating it up. It's inside. It's all nonsense. All the entire supposed global warming models and everything that came from, it's all nonsense. If you're going to release a bunch of gases, it's not going to change the climate. It will not. It will not. There's no evidence it will. Like at all. Like, yeah, if you release toxic gases, and a lot of it, yeah, it might influence the local life. It's going to be not so nice for that life, right? If the poison gas or something gets released, yeah, it's bad for the life there. It's not going to change the entire weather of the world. Nonsense. Nonsense. Yeah? You know how many gases are naturally deposited? Like quantities of gases of all kinds just coming from the frickin' ground. All the time. Naturally. Like always have. It just happens. A lot. Yeah? One volcano eruption spouts out more CO2 than a country does in a year. Like a decent sized country. I mean, it's all ridiculous. All of it is. Yeah, I'm worried about toxin. Like materials dangerous for life. That is my worry. Like poison. Yeah, true environmentalism is all about knowing and avoiding poison in all ways. In food and in nature, in materials you deal with, avoid poison. Know about poison and avoid it. Replace it with something less toxic that works. Yeah, that's environmentalism. That's real environmentalism. That's how you keep things clean, how you make things healthy and happy and clear-minded. Yeah, there is no freaking risk to change the climate. I mean, dude, it just doesn't do anything. You can literally torch down like a country entirely. It fire. No, don't do that. But I mean, just like imagine, like the Netherlands just gets firebombed all of a sudden. All of it just burns. It's totally fucked, right? Life is all dead there, and yeah, it's probably gonna be a bit freaky for a while. But then after a while, yeah, the smoke just goes away, and it all just restores right back to normal. Because it doesn't matter. Yeah? The entire world wars. Yeah? Cities burning. Cities firebombed all over the place. Yeah? Did it change the climate? No. No, it didn't. Yeah? So stop this nonsense. Stop this fear. Oh, it's going to destroy everything because I farted. Fuck you. Stop being an idiot. Stop being gullible. And stop thinking arrogantly that something you do like that, a regular way of living, is going to destroy the environment. Yeah, if you can't palpably prove right at your feet that you're going to destroy the environment with something, it won't destroy the environment. Yeah? If it's not toxic directly to the environment, it's not going to destroy the environment. Fact. Do you understand? It doesn't matter. Industry, even, it doesn't matter. If they don't excrete provable poisonous and toxic materials, then nothing changes. Yeah? Right? And I mean, all these clean factories and power plants or whatever that excrete CO2 and moist, I mean, they're effectively very good for the environment. Yeah, I mean, you could like put a power plant like that in a desert, and if it keeps going, I can, well, depending on, yeah, I mean, if it's like a salty desert or something, wouldn't work. But I mean, if it's just really dry, but there's still some plants around, I guarantee you put a power plant there, like a coal power plant or something, with really good scrubbers, only CO2 and water comes out. In a couple of years, that place surrounding it, that used to be kind of desert, will turn green. Yeah? It's like a positive climate change. Like the environment literally thrives on that. Okay? It's because climate alarmism is a Marxist hoax. It's there to trick everybody to destroy the environment, to create the climate disaster that they're predicting. It's black magic projection. They make you create the thing they fear, that they make you fear. They make you create it. And you're destroying things while you're thinking you're saving it. It's black magic. It's very dangerous, and it needs to be outlawed. The cult needs to be outlawed. Just like Marxism. Any Marxism system like that. Any cult that has Marxist objectives and methods needs to be abolished internationally. Yeah? And the ones that are like really heavy criminals, yeah, they need to be hunted down. Yeah, because they're probably going to flee all over the place, try to find refuge in vaults to hide in. Need to be hunted down. It's Marxism and all its tentacles, all its destructive tentacles in their mind and in society, they need to be removed utterly. Anyway. No, George Sanford, it's not that. Not that at all. Chemicals, drinking water, yeah, some countries. I mean, fluoride, like fluorosilicic acid, yeah, that's extremely toxic. And they put it in drinking water. And it calcifies your pineal gland, makes you more submissive, and makes you kind of dumb and spiritually numb. Like, you will if you were like a very divinely tapped and inspired person, and you get forced to drink fluoridated water over a period of time, you will literally lose your connection with God. You will forget what it is. You might have a shadow of a memory of God under that, but you will not be able to feel it. Because you need your pineal gland to be solid, like in a good state. And when it's calcified, it doesn't work anymore. It disconnects you from God. Yeah? Terrible. Avoid fluoridated toothpaste at all costs. It's better not to brush your teeth than to brush it with fluoridated toothpaste. It's better to just not drink water than to drink fluoridated water. Can you reverse that? Yes. You can reverse it. Yes. Well, first off, you just need to stop drinking fluoridated water, which is going to be, I mean, toothpaste, it has bad influences, but like drinking it is the worst. So first of all, you got to stop doing that and then clean yourself up. And one way to do it, a very effective way, relatively quick, is using pure iodine. Iodine replaces, like, well, halogens. It helps. It really helps the what is it? Decalcifying pineal gland. Right? Iodine. But I mean, you can use iodine if you're still getting fluoride in your system. It's not really gonna help that much. You first and foremost, you got to get it out of your system. No more of it. And then hopefully it won't have damaged you too much, and that you can still fully restore from it. Because it's going to eventually like really damage you if you keep taking it your whole life. Fluoride. That is, right? But I mean, if you want to decalcify, you want to get off that, then iodine, nascent iodine if possible, would be the best. Yes, seeking star water. Indeed, pineal gland is critical. It's arguably one of the most important organs for our spiritual development. It's absolutely critical. Egyptians knew that. That's why they had it on display in their symbols. Right? But if you want to decalcify it, yeah, iodine is the way to do it. Why pineal gland is called third eye? Yeah, pretty much. Spiritual eye, yeah, or I like to compare it like with a magic mirror. It's like the magic mirror into another universe. It's like your private magic mirror. But yeah, I mean, if it crystallizes, then it becomes opaque and you just can't see through it anymore. You can't use the magic mirror. 5G invisible poison. Oh really? Well, I'd like to see that actual result of that. I mean, I know it's out there. And I mean, yeah, if you install 5G and Wi-Fi everywhere around you and you work and live and sleep in that all day long, it's gonna mess you up. Okay? But if you don't have like, the most danger from 5G is when you use it in your phone that you have on you all the time. Because 5G really does everything short range. Lots of data, short range. So, I mean, if there's a 5G tower somewhere a kilometer that away, it's not even gonna reach me here. You see? But if some freaking 5G tower would be installed right on my roof here, yeah, then I'd be bathing in it all the time. So let's hope that never happens. But I mean, 5G has been super overhyped too. It's kind of like chemtrails. There is a potential danger, and there's even like a potential weaponization danger, right? Because 5G technology has like things it can potentially do when supplied with enough energy. then it can do things that are kind of scary. But I mean, that, yeah, you'll know when that's happening. Owen Benjamin even has this weird elaborate theory that they could even use 5G for simulating radiation. If they ever like choose to simulate a nuke, blow up something with a huge stack of dynamite, and then turn on the 5G to basically make it seem like everybody's bathing in radiation because of it. But it's the 5G tower, because reality, yeah, nuclear bombs don't exist. They definitely don't have radiation. But 5G emitters can be rigged with enough power to basically simulate the effect of radiation like that. It's a very interesting theory from Owen Benjamin. It might actually potentially happen. Or it won't. But it's like mechanically plausible. Right, anyway, yeah, man, the show is great so far. Time is flying, but I'm gonna take a 2-minute break. Be right back. And I'm back. Nuclear weapons don't exist? Oh, where did that come from? Oh, yes, everybody's new to everything. I mean, I'm only talking about it for years, and so are hundreds of other people. Zindel, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? Hey, Numpty? Person I've never seen before, apparently doesn't even know about something that I've mentioned that on a show like not even 2 months ago. And a month before that. And pretty much for 8 years straight have I talked about that regularly, but you don't know it, do you, Zinnel? Really? What, you've never ever checked out anything? How the hell do you even come to my channel if you've never even heard about that? Hello, Tarot. Yeah, it's spring, of course. I mean, that would be weird if there would like be if there would be a weird asymmetry to the seasons. Now that would be weird. It's hot summer here. Yeah, but it's always hot with you. So, I mean, even in the winter it's freaking hot. Comparatively. So, Zindel, are you going to say something else, or was it just that one statement? Are you just a sock account pretending? Are you just here to place misinformation to try to reinforce the deflective conditioning of the numpty peoples out there? Is that what are you trying to program potential audience? Okay, you've never heard of it before. So, you ever heard of flat Earth before? Did you know that the Earth is flat, Zindel? Have you ever heard of that? Have you ever heard of anything? Did you know dinosaurs are fake? Did you know that? Did you know that it's all fake? The entire story of evolution is all fake and fraud, and archaeology, a lot of it is fraud, especially based digging up bones. Did you know that? Yeah? No dino? Yeah, that's right. No dinos. Yeah, they're completely fictional. They're a proven fraud. They're workshop crafted models based on grinded up chicken bones, a lot of it. Barney's not real? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's a lot of fraud in this world. And especially in things that have been lifted to mainstream belief status. I could safely state, even without knowing the full picture, that most of it is a lie. Most of it. Most of the mainstream Western convictions are all lies. Yeah? Evolution is a lie. Dinosaurs are lies. Nukes are lies. Right? Yeah, I probably don't even have to remind you of all the current things. They're all lies. Yeah? But it's not like it's starting with lies right now in history. It's not like they're just starting to lie. No. It was all lies from the start. People didn't know it. Most people. It's just what they were fed. Now, information spreads much more quicker with the internet. People are figuring it out quicker. Yeah? That what we get taught per default typically is lies. Yeah, a lot of history is fake too. A lot of things are made up and disputed because of that. But still, we just get to hear like, no, it's just, we're just going to accept that that's real, even though it is being disputed among specialists. Yeah? And they just blankly assert evolution. They teach that in school, like you have to teach that in schools. Even though there's absolutely no evidence for it whatsoever. Now, people that specialize in it are deluded or frauds. Because if you're a real biologist, then you should know that it can't work like that. And it never does. There is no proof for evolution whatsoever. Nothing evolves. Yeah? It's the opposite. Yeah? You have an original design blueprint, and it only degrades over time. It doesn't improve. It doesn't get better at it as time progresses. No, it degrades. The original blueprint from the design degrades over time. Yeah, every time there's some kind of mutation, information is lost and it doesn't return. That's what a mutation does. It takes away the integrity of the design, and sometimes it's so dramatic that the design becomes so incomplete it just dies out. Yeah, because in general, and this is a rule, this is natural law rule. Yeah, mutation leads to sterilization, diminished cognitive function in any type of creature function, and aggression. It's universal. It always does that. It does not lead to an improved version of a species, ever. But yes, there is adaptation. Adaptation is within the range of genetics. And that is, we are designed, all life is designed to be dynamic and adaptable. But it's only going to change within the spectrum of its genetics. It can't adapt into another species. It can adapt back, right? You take, this is a very rough example, I don't have direct proof for it, but just let's just say you have an elephant and you kind of migrate it over some generations further and further north into the cold regions. There's a good likelihood it's going to start growing more hairs. And maybe even sort of turn into a woolly mammoth over several generations. You could breed it to be more hairy like that. Right? It's all adaptation, right? And then you take that woolly mammoth and you let it procreate in Africa again, where it's so hot. It's gonna eventually start losing that hair again. That's adaptation. It has that possibility to adapt within its genetic design. It's not a mutation. It's not a one-way direction and you can't go back. Yeah? So that's another thing. There's no evolution, right? And nukes are fake. I mean, it's fiction. Nuclear fission is fiction. It's science fiction. Can't do that. It doesn't happen. You don't put a couple of pieces of plutonium together and then suddenly it starts hyper reacting in a fission explosion. It never happens. That doesn't exist. Yeah, and the whole story on top of that about nuclear radiation, the fallout, it doesn't exist. Yeah. I mean, the alleged locations where they dropped the supposed nuclear bombs in history in Japan, they're fine. They don't have any radiation issues at all. Right? I mean, there have been people in the past that probably got some radiation poisoning, but I mean, it's not that difficult. You just inject them with some stuff and then they get the poisoning of that. I mean, it's not due to a bomb, right? If that was the case, then that entire city, those cities, Nagasaki, Hiroshima, should be abandoned like hundreds of years. Guess what? It's rebuilt. They're all living there. No problem, right? Breast milk feeding, goats give milk. It's all fine because there is no radiation. Because nuclear bombs don't exist. Low-level examples in school lesson. Yeah, that's cute. I mean, there is radiation, but there is no nuclear bomb radiation fallout. And besides, radiation is highly overestimated how dangerous it even is. You have to really concentrate it, certain types, and then eventually, yeah, you can get like leukemia from that and shit. That's true. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's poison. You see, a lot of these radioactive materials are just poisonous. And they call that radiation poisoning, but it's pretty much just poisoning. Dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Who's leaving stupid ass comments? Yeah, Chernobyl, that's right. Chernobyl is like an environmental resort. Nature's flourishing there. Fuck's sake. Who's this fucking asshole? Shut your fucking mouth, scumbag. How can you just permanently... I'm gonna try this. Fuck you. Fuck off. Stop commenting. Nobody gives a shit. You piece of shit. It's commenting on my other video. Like, what the fuck are you doing, you asshole? You know I'm going to delete your shitty gamma comments. So why don't you just shut your fucking mouth? Just shut your fucking mouth. Nobody cares. Stop commenting. Fuck off. Nobody cares. Who? I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not even gonna say his name. He's just an asshole. He's been doing it for fucking 8 years. He's never said anything that's actually worth listening to, ever. And he always spams negative shit on my videos when he comes around. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, QE Live was weird yesterday. I didn't listen to all of it though. It got kind of annoying. But I mean, yeah, QE's explanation of the knowing which path, I mean, I don't know about that, man. I mean, it all sounds like really tall stories to me. Like, unless you literally have that physically experienced yourself, I don't trust stories like that at all. So I don't know what's up with QE with that. Right. Anyway, I think I'm gonna round out the show, guys. Oh, look at this, man. Look at how freaking beautiful. I mean, look at that. It's all just pure blue. Doesn't that look amazing? Am I right? I mean, literally the entire screen just blue. Right. Anyway, thanks everyone for coming. I hope you liked this show. If you did, then please don't forget to Rogan's it up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you know when I'm going live, which is normally 1 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekdays and 2 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekend. And please also do support me through the PayPal and the Patreon. That would be much appreciated, and I can still really use it. So yeah, any donation would be great. It's like, especially, like, it would be even better, right, after these troll naggers, because I just want to show them that you're giving me money. I just want to show them, because they really, you know, it would be really great if every time they show up, you send me a PayPal just to make them feel it. Like, yeah, you're bullshitting, you're discontent sowing, all that garbage. It doesn't work. Yeah, people give me money. to talk about this. Yes? Understand? By their own volition. Because I asked them to, and they want me to talk about it. You get it, trolls? Your whining and nagging is not gonna stop it. Ah, Skeptic. Right on cue. You're awesome, dude. I love it when it happens. Yeah. Thank you very much, Skeptic. Yeah, you keep me going. It's awesome. Thank you for the support, and thank you all, guys. I mean, even the guys that don't regularly support. I mean, if you're great in chat and you learn, right? You want to learn. I very much appreciate you. I appreciate people that are here on my show to figure things out and to work things out. Yeah. Oh, here you go. See? Oh, yeah, I get money for this. Yeah. They pay me. Thank you so much. It's a great life. I mean, I get paid to do this, completely voluntary, no strings attached. I get to talk about things that interest me completely freely every day and with great people. And yeah, I get to deal with the trolls, but I mean, in a way, it's even kind of funny to have these trolls because, yeah, you basically just helped me secure my funds because you showed up. I was able to ask for it and make like this extra incentive for them to do it in that moment, and it worked. So because you showed up, trolls, I got paid. I just wanted to know you that before I finally end this show. Right. So anyway, I'll be back tomorrow with Flat Earth Early Bird number 1576 on the Thursday, and I'm going to join the Flat Earth debates over at Nathan Oakley 9080 channel, which should start up any second now. And until the next video, keep it flat.